Howard Mike Hunt was born January 16, 1922 on a farm near Polk City, Iowa, and came to Alaska in 1942 with the Army Air Corps. After hearing one of his family members talking about learning to fly and how his uncle said no to a cousin, "You're staying put and working on the farm," Hunt set his sights in a different direction.
And you're out there plowing corn and horses are farting in your face, two-row elevator, an airplane to fly over. I say, boy, that's where I want to be. I want to get off this farm.
To learn to fly, Hunt needed a car, and the only way to get one was to go to church on Sunday, some miles away from their farm.
But I'd start to the church real early, only car didn't go to the church, it went to the airport. And I'd get in 10 minutes or 15 minutes of flying time. And after about a year, I had enough time to solo.
Hunt learned to fly and got his license. Soon after, the war broke out. He was sent to Army Air Corps basic training.
I went through flying school and was sent up to Great Falls, Montana, and it was just being opened.
Hunt and other young pilots flew hundreds of U.S. planes from Great Falls, Montana to Ladd Field in Fairbanks on the Lend-Lease program.
And one of their missions then was to move warbirds to the Russians in Fairbanks.
Hunt flew both the A-20 fighter, bomber, and the P-39 Airacobra. As part of Hunt's Army Air Corps career, he flew the Memphis Belle from Florida to Spokane, Washington on a war bond tour.
December the 22nd, 1943. Right there it is. I had flew for 10 days, kind of on a war bond drive, and left it in Tampa, Florida.
Colonel Hunt is the last living World War II pilot to have flown as pilot in command of the B-17 bomber, the Memphis Belle. Hunt also flew C-54s over the hump to China and ferried Chinese military to locations there. On February 21, 1945, Mike married Ruth Gadow, a farm girl from Preston, Maryland. In June, they bought a surplus Fairchild PT-19 military primary trainer. With Jack O'Neill, Hunt started NAPAERO, the North Pacific Aero Trading and Transportation Company, and invested in 3 C-46 and 2 PBY Catalina aircraft. After the war, Hunt connected Alaskans to the lower 48 with a fleet of C-46 aircraft as Air Transport Associates. ATA's first flight was in August 1948. From cargo to passengers, ATA used former military aircraft for passenger travel. During this period, Hunt and wife Ruth homesteaded land in Kenai, but eventually returned to Anchorage, where they located a homestead in East Anchorage. In 1954, Hunt was elected president of Air Cargo Express, an aircraft salvage engineering and operations company rebuilding C-46 aircraft. Hunt was also responsible for retrieving a DC-4 that had landed on the ice in Hudson Bay, 40 miles east of Fort Churchill, Canada. Using bay ice under the 4-engine airplane and pontoons, the aircraft was pulled by a canoe and 2 whaling boats across the bay and up the Churchill River to shore. In November of 1959, the CAA hired Hunt to work in Anchorage as a flight inspection pilot with the mission to commission, maintain, and flight check all the navigational aids in the state of Alaska. During this era, 4 course ranges were being decommissioned, and the new collated VHF omnidirectional range, VOR beacons, and tactical air navigation system beacon called a VORTAC, and ILS instrument landing systems were being built. Mike and pilots Tom Wardley, Slim Walters, Don Hood were asked with overseeing the aviation infrastructure build-out in the newly minted U.S. state of Alaska. Hunt is responsible for starting the Barter Island Company and flew for Cordova Airlines and Air Cargo Express on Alaska's Dew Line White Alice construction project. In 1962, wife Ruth passed away. Later, Mike met Carol, Queenie Pierce. They married, and in 1965 their son Mike was born. Baby Mike joined a family with Hunt's 3 daughters and Carol's daughter, making it one big happy family. After retiring, Colonel Hunt learned to fly a helicopter, purchased an Enstrom helicopter, and continued his flying while staking mining claims throughout Alaska. During the anniversary of 100 years of flight in Alaska in June 2013, Hunt helped launch the Alaska wing of the Commemorative Air Force with the donation of his Harvard 4 and BT-13 trainers. Colonel Hunt also donated his L-2 Grasshopper to the CAF wing in 2018.
I've never worked a day in my life, Ralph. I got to fly. And that's the truth. I'm just an airplane nut. I accumulate them, restore them, and I know I can't take them with me. That's why I wouldn't say I started it, but I promoted it to the Commemorative Air Force.
Hunt has flown 31 different types of fixed-wing reciprocal airplanes, jets, and a helicopter. Colonel Hunt's aviation exploits have been featured in magazines, books, and television interviews. He received the China War Memorial Medal, the FAA Wright Brothers Award for 50 years of safe flying, and he's been recognized by the Alaska Air Carriers Association as an Alaskan legend of aviation, and been included in the Old Bold Pilot celebration by the Alaska Aviation Museum. The Alaska Aviation Museum greatly appreciates the contribution and lifetime efforts that Colonel Mike Hunt has given to Alaska's aviation industry and welcomes him into the Hall of Fame for pioneering aviation in Alaska with the Lifetime Achievement Award.